Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day. Hope you are all having an amazing day today. My name is Lex and welcome back to some more Car Mechanic Simulator 2018. In the previous video we checked out some of the basics of this game, checking out things like the wheel balancer and the tyre changer because I only really had a small garage. But now, as you can see, I have the full garage. It's now time for us on this channel to start doing some proper videos on this, checking out all the amazing new features that 2018 version has to offer. One of the other things I pointed out in the previous video was, of course, all the bugs that are in this game. There have been so many updates for this game lately. They are just, the devs are really just going overtime trying to just fix all the bugs. Again, it was just such a shame that it came out with all those bugs. They really should have released it and, you know, said it was a beta version. Just so we could have got the public to beta test it. Because the public have definitely been sharing up their bugs to get them to be fixed. But obviously this was supposed to have been a full game on release. And obviously a lot of people have been sour about it. And in fact the devs have actually come and publicly apologized, saying, people, look, hang on, we are going to fix these things. You know, please don't forget about this game. It will be good once we have all the stuff. Well, actually, so far in this latest update, it hasn't been too buggy for me. Everything seems pretty nice. This is actually pretty well optimized. I mean, the performance thing, it feels alright now. So, and also there were loads of weird bugs or whatever. But today, what I want to do is talk about making money, because this was one of the biggest things about the previous Car Mechanic Simulator. And that was just, it was just so hard to make money. The way that you would make money is you'd do jobs, and you'd eventually save up money to go to the auction house, you'd buy a car, and then you would go and repair it, and then sell it off, and that would be your way of making money. Whereas now, we have loads of different ways. One where you can buy cars cheaper than having to use the auction system, but also ways that you can just buy and sell parts that you find in the junkyard and in barn finds. And that's why today, what I want to do is, I've currently got this save game that has all of the optional extras, including like all the repair item things. Allows to repair body parts, you know, 95% chance of repairing all this sort of stuff. We're going to be using this to repair stuff that we find in the junkyard to see if it is possible to make money just buying stuff in the junkyard, going home and repairing it, and then selling it off again. And I'm going to do that both in this version of the game, where I have like the full decked out repair system things on my toolbox. And also I'm going to go to an earlier version where I'm just a bit less into the game to see if it's also financially viable, just to see if you guys can make a lot of money by basically buying stuff in the junkyard and doing them up and then selling them. So, without further ado, let's just go ahead and go check out the junkyard. And here we are in the big, massive junkyard. And actually, before we get into any of this and into the rest of the video, there's going to be some comments on the screen right now. These are comments featured from the previous video. If you would like your comments featured, you can leave them in the comment section below. I'll pick some at random and feature them at the start of the next video. And don't forget, you can also follow me on Twitter at Figureight. Links for my Twitter are in the description below. So this is the junkyard. This is a whole new thing for the 2018 version of Car Mechanic Simulator. And basically what it allows you to do is to buy really rough cars like this, where they are just really, I mean, look at this. This needs a lot of fixing. And actually, this is a lot cheaper than using the auction system before, because the auction things, all the cars were really expensive, even when they were low down. But if you actually go to buy car here, this thing only costs $19,000. If we look at this one costs, again, $19,000 for these two. So you can actually go ahead and buy them and do them up. But the other thing is, if we were to go over here into all these piles of junk, you can see that we can select this junk. And if we open it, we have all of these items. And what we can do is we can choose the ones we want if we only want specific items. Maybe you're fixing up a car for a customer and you need specific items. You could actually spend your time going through the junkyard in order to save money. But actually what I think is probably a better idea is to actually just go and try and make money off all the stuff you can find. So if we just try and grab loads of this, I'm going to try and grab as much as possible. It's also not just in these piles as well. Some of these cars also count as junk. I mean, if you consider the amount of body parts you find in one of these, I don't think that one car is going to feature like a huge multitudes of body panels, seats, and other weird things. If we go around here, by the way, this place is pretty big. There's a lot of cars to check out. I mean, there were those two by the entrance. If we go around here, I think there should be another one around here. I think there's one here. How much does this one cost? There you go, $23,000 for that one. Then we have, let's just pick up some more junk on the way through. So you can actually spend a long time here just collecting all this junk, remembering that all this stuff that you collect, you will eventually have to sell. So it does take time to go through everything. But then when you consider the amount of time it takes to do a job, it's actually, I think, probably the best, like, money for time, like the best amount of time spent to get the most amount of money. But I'm sure maybe you guys could probably work that out. But I'm pretty sure that it's going to be an unbeatable method of making money, as far as I'm concerned. So where's the other cars? I swear there were some more cars around this section. I don't know. I think I'm lost. Right, let's just pick up a few more of these. Maybe there was only 3 cars in this junkyard. It does change every time. I mean, you're not going to get the same cars. Every time you go in, there's going to be a different set. Again, every time you go back in and out of the junkyard, all these things will be full of other random items as well. They're not always the same items, they're all random. So actually, I think that's about it. If we just try and find... I'll try and get a little bit more, just so we can have like a big... Because like the more time you spend and the more amount of items that you collect, the more amount of money you're going to make. So I guess I'll just keep trying collecting more, and then we'll finish up here. Right, so I think this is going to be the last of it. So if we just collect all of this... And then I'm going to go to leave to garage, and then it's going to give us this huge list of all the items. And as you can see, the prices to purchase things in the scrapyard are just so tiny that I think even if you didn't use the repair table, you could probably sell this stuff for more than it's worth on here. We'll have to see. We'll probably see in a minute when we go and check out the earlier version of the game that doesn't have the full spec'd out repair table. But all of this lot that we've collected is only going to cost us $770. So let's just go to buy parts. Okay, we're back in the garage, and as you can see, we've got 600,000. You can pretty much just add 770 to that, and that would be what we've got to beat. So if we just go to the repair bench, we should now have a lot of stuff that we can repair. Now, basically on this one, I have a 95% chance, and this one already has a chance of 86%. I can actually leave it at that, and it will still have value, or I can risk repairing it. It's actually gone to 97. Again, I could risk repairing it again. This time it's gone to 100, but sometimes, even though it's 95%, not always does it go to 100%. It does actually go, and the condition goes down. See, there you go. That one, we actually had it up to like 70 or something percent, and then it went down to 4%. That's a risk you take. But I think the way that you're just going to do this and try and make the most money is to just spam this and just, you know, take the risk that some of them are going to break and some of them are going to be 100%, and just hope that that gives you nice profits in the end. So I'm going to go ahead and constantly spam this thing. Sadly, there's no sort of automation system to get this done quicker. We just have to spend ages clicking randomly. But again, the amount of time it takes for this is probably a bit more tedious than doing a job, but you'll definitely be making a lot more money. And that is all of them done. So now we can go to our inventory, and we can go to, actually the inventory sorting thing is bugged, but we can go by condition, and we can start off with all the stuff that's 1%, and we can just start selling it all off. And let's see how much money we can get just with the stuff that is like completely unusable. If we were to consider that the only stuff that is usable is the stuff that has 100% on the condition. As you can see, we've got 601,000 already. So we have already made all of our money back. There we go, 602,000 already making money. But the thing is, the real money is going to be made at the end when you have, like, the best ones that you want are stuff like gearboxes and engine blocks and all that sort of stuff, because they sell for a lot of money when you're in a high condition. I mean, if you look at the price of stuff like this, like a door, 33%, bumper, $20. But, again, here we go. All of that stuff still made us loads of money. So this brings us to all the stuff that is 100%. Now, there's two things that you could do. Either you could sell them and make money, or you can go to the new warehouse feature, and you can actually add stuff in. As you can see, I've got loads of stuff that I've taken from the junkyard and repaired all to 100%. And I can leave this stuff in here for when I was starting to build up my own sets of cars. You know, stuff like a front drive axle, gearbox for a V8. In fact, 2 sets of gearboxes for different versions of V8s. All this sort of stuff I can keep and use in a future project, and it won't have to cost me money buying it from the computer. Or you can just ignore that, pretend, you know, whatever, that you're probably going to forget that that's there, and just go ahead and sell everything. So let's just start selling this stuff. I mean, $85, $60, $45, $85, $200 for that front diff. $40, $30, $225 for that one. Some of these are cheap, $135. Here we go, $750 for that one gearbox. And that has pretty much, again, almost paid for the entirety of what we bought from the junkyard on its own. $35, $170, $150, $35. As you can see, making lots more money. And we didn't really spend that much time taking stuff from the junkyard and coming back. If you were to really sort of like give yourself an hour, you could easily make like $100,000. I mean, there's a lot of money to be made here. So far, we've made $8,000 from that tiny little trip. Took no time at all, and definitely when you consider how much money you get from doing a job, I'd say that is definitely a great way to make money. So now that we've tested it out in this way, I'm going to go back to one of the earlier versions where I don't have the fully spec'd out repair table, and I'm going to see if it's also a viable way of making money. Okay, so here we are, and as you can see from the toolbox, I don't really have much. In fact, we can actually do some upgrades for this. In fact, let's just go ahead and go for one. That's just going to give us a better chance. 2, 3, how many can we get? In fact, let's just keep it up to about there, because I don't think we can get the 4. No, that's completely locked. So this only has level 3 out of level 6, so this is only half of the amount of upgrades we can get. That gives us still a 75% chance. So that's not bad. I mean, it could have 65, 55. They're all at least over half of a chance for you to actually get a fixed item with each repair. So with that 75%, let's just go back to the junkyard now. And see again, if I want to try and spend as much money of this 19,000 that we've got as possible. And let's just see if we can make money. Okay, so here we go back in the junkyard. And actually, I just want to point out, this one here, where we had the 2 cars last time, this only has 1 car. And as you can see, this one cost 19,455. So we don't have enough money to start buying these cars yet. But that's why the junkyard's here. Let's try and see. I'm going to spend just a few minutes now collecting as much stuff as possible. So then we can go and see. Because the thing is, we can collect so much stuff, and it really only costs like a couple of $1,000s. It really doesn't cost much to buy these parts, so you can spend ages here and not spend much money, and hopefully get a lot in return. Okay, a few minutes have passed. I spent all this time collecting items. Let's just try and get a few more of these junk things in. Collecting all this sort of stuff. I mean, also, like, wing mirrors and stuff now are a thing, because normally they were, like, tied to the doors. Now they're separate. Maybe I've collected all this stuff around here. Let's just grab this one. And also, I've been noticing a lot more cars floating around in this one compared to the previous one. As you can see, there's a car right there. Let's see how much this one costs. This one's 21,000 for this one. Sometimes they're like really cheap. Sometimes they seem overly priced for what they are. You can also tell if you actually go to buy a car that they even have the conditions. Again, that's pretty low conditions for the price. Right, so now, if we go out and we go to leave garage, we should have... There we go. This costs almost $3,000. For all of these parts. There is a lot of stuff here. There's a few that are actually quite, you know, they're quite good quality. I mean, I don't know how much, like, front shock absorber 93. Right, let's remember that that front shock absorber costs $11 to buy, because I want to see how much it just costs to just go back and try and sell it as it is, because I'm pretty sure that you can still sell it for a profit. Okay, so here we are in my inventory, and as you can see, there is the front shock absorber 93% condition that we bought for $11. We can sell it now for $55. So the junkyard prices are really low. And I don't know why. I don't know whether this is intentional, but it basically just means if you can get to the junkyard, that's free money. So as you can see, we've got $16,000. If we go to our repair bench, we have a lot of stuff to repair. Again, this has got 68% on it. We could probably sell that as it is. This actually says that it's got a repair cost of 83. I don't really know what this is, because if we just go, like, do that, for example... As you can see, we've still got 16,283, or 63, and look, it doesn't actually change. So I think the repair cost actually just means, like, how much it costs to sell. I'm not entirely sure, because it doesn't actually cost anything. There's no repair costs happening. Although I am noticing that it does say repair skill level is 0, but it does have the repair chance of 75%, so I guess ignore that. That's probably just a bug. So some of these are actually going to 100%, so we're definitely making money on some of these. So I'm just going to spam through these. And let's see how much money we can make. As we're going through, I'm definitely noticing a lot more failed ones that just go red. But of course, this is only 75%. And you could probably be more careful, as I said, especially like with that gearbox just then. Sometimes you could probably take the risk of not trying to repair them. But I'm just going to spam it through just to see, like, without even thinking about it. Just spamming through and how much money we can make. Okay, so that is everything done. Completed. So now let's just go back to our inventory and let's just start selling stuff from all the broken stuff first. As you can see, that is a lot of stuff that we've bought. That is a lot of stuff to go through and sell. But we started with $19,000, a nice round figure, so you should know once it's past that, we are starting to be in profit. And that's if we can be in profit, because maybe even after all that repairing, I might have broken enough expensive stuff that actually we don't make the money back. We'll have to see. But as you can see, we're up to 17,600, and you can probably tell from the scroll bar that we've got a long way to go selling stuff right here. So I think we're definitely going to be making profit. And if there's one thing that if the developers are watching this, I could suggest is like having a scrap button at the bottom with like a threshold on it, so you could say that anything with a condition below whatever percentage that you tell it, it will sell for you automatically in one fell swoop. So that means that we could just sell basically everything that's under 100% in one go. Because once that happens, and I mean, we did actually have like a sell junk function in the previous one. Once that happens, we would be able to make a lot more money a lot more quickly. This is definitely slowing us down, and it's actually giving me a repetitive strain injury. But if you look at the money right now, selling all the scrap, we are already in profit. So obviously this might not be the best way. Why is that 100%? I thought this was sorted by condition. So I just want to try and sell all the red stuff first, but those are green things are just appearing in their place. So a lot of you are probably thinking, well, this is really tedious, it's not fun, it's probably more fun to just build the cars. I think what this is really useful for is just like if you just need a little bit extra money because you want to work on a car and you're just really short, and you know, this is just so much quicker than having to worry about fixing a car that you might not want to do and you want to just work on the car that you're trying to build. This is definitely the way to make loads of money. As you can see, oh god, we're actually filling this whole thing up with 100% right now. Right, I managed to fix it by going to name and then condition again. Let's actually set it back again. Again, it's another bug. There's always these little things that are going to appear. Right, that is everything right there. We're just starting to move out of the reds and into the greens. We want to get all the way to what is... There we go. All the 100%. And we have $28,990. So we have made a huge amount of profit, and we still have all of this stuff left. So let's see. $200, $100, $1,100. That is amazing. $100, $385, $45, $42, $50. Some of these are pretty low. There we go. There's a $200 right there. $325. Absolutely amazing. I mean, something like the $12 one, whatever. But, I mean, that is a huge chunk right there in just a couple of those items. And we now have 32,000. We started off with 19,000. We now have 32,000 for what is probably like 15, 20 minutes maybe spent doing that. Obviously, it would be quicker if we had like a sell junk function where I can say anything below 99%, sell it all in one go and just give me the money. But do you know what? That is definitely a way to make money no matter what part of the game you're in. I reckon that is still a viable thing. Because as we pointed out, that $11 set of front shock absorbers sold for $55 instantly the second we came back to the garage. So there's profit to be made up until the point that maybe the developers think that that's not right and they might change it in the future. But for now, go ahead, make loads of money. That's going to be it for this video. If you've enjoyed this video, please let me know by rating, commenting, and subscribing. And in fact, actually, what happened to my garage? Oh, no, it's because we're... Look, just had a brain fart. I forgot we're not in the big save game, are we? We're actually in the lower down one. But yeah, if you do know of any other way to make loads of money quickly, I think this is probably like the ultimate one. But if there are any other methods that you guys know of, let me know in the comment section below. Maybe I'll check them out and maybe feature them in the future. But that's going to be it. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you all next time. Goodbye!